All right. Is Dr. Eric Berg, aka the chiropractor, I know everybody gets mad when I say that, but lying to you just to sell supplements? I don't know. Here's his son. Let's listen up. This is all about his pushing Scientology on people and everything else. Anyway, my name is Ryan, High Carb Regenerator. Welcome to my channel, and let's see what's up here.
Buddy, thanks for tuning in. Aaron here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm talking today with Ian Rafalko, son of Dr. Eric Berg. How are you doing, Ian?
Doing all right.
So I did a video recently calling out, well, your dad and Grant Cardone. It was really an excuse to kind of troll the both of them. And there were so many people in the comments like, oh, you need to talk to Dr. Berg's son left Scientology. You need to talk to Ian. And you and I have never spoken on my channel, although we've been in touch for a while. So
yeah,
there's something about that guy. It's so weird how similar he looks to Barnard, but there's just something about that guy that's just not trustable.
And then you texted me and it was perfect. So here we are.
Yeah. I thought, we had done some stuff earlier. The emotional toll that leaving Scientology takes, I gave myself the time that I needed. I was like, I can't, push myself to do this thing that I wasn't ready for. And then I was like, it just hit me one day. I was just ready.
The one thing I will warn with this video is the jump cut shit is like almost epileptic causing. I don't understand. I don't understand.
And the past times I talked about it, I was still very shooken up.
You'll see what I watched like the first maybe 5 minutes of this. I'm also not going to watch this whole thing. Probably remember to link it down below, but we'll see what happens.
I didn't really understand, what was going on. I was sort of like joining the flow without sort of figuring my own particular.
That's how these huge organizations are, right? You are, unless you are at the top of the top of the top, like the top 3 or something like that, you don't know what's going on. Like you're just a minion. That's how the government works. How all these huge agencies work.
Situation out. And then and I did that. It took a year. I can tell you that my past is like now so much.
And the only reason I'm doing this is this keto thing is getting pushed so hard and people believe this shit. And then come the supplements. If your diet is so good that you need to supplement with like 20, 25 different things, I don't know.
Clearer. And
I also did keto for 10 years. If you're new to my channel or whatever, it was not good. All right. The first maybe 2 years is euphoric. Then reality hits.
I educated myself, and it's like the more I learn about just general injustices that I had been shielded from, it just lights a fucking fire under your ass. And you just you start to tap your foot. The days are going by and nothing's changing on their level. That's not even necessarily true because the tree has been shaken and the leaves are falling. And I'm not going to sit around anymore. I'd prefer to give the people an honest, more reasonably realistic story rather than, I had this 3 years, it went bad, and then I left. It's like, no, Scientology corrupted my childhood and the way I processed things and the way my parents taught me. And it's like, these people have done way too much, I think, for me to keep it to myself. I want to
This isn't about keto at all. And it's just not about keto. It's just about who are you listening to and why, and what have they done? And, do they use certain colors? Do they use certain things in their thumbnails to there's attracting factors there?
Share more of my side, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you first publicly came out of Scientology, it was in a video that you posted to TikTok that got a crap ton of views, millions of views, I think. You came out sort of with a bang, but you said a moment ago, you said you took a year. Does that mean it was a year since you first publicly put up that video?
A little more. I remember passing the year mark and realizing that how much time had passed. And
I swear this video gets somewhere. It's a lot of fluff.
Out about my dad because there's so much context and so many different stories to tell. I needed to get my truth out in a way that people would actually give a shit. So who do they give a shit about? They give a shit about the keto man. My father.
Do they need to take 30 fucking cuts to get this done? Or is this why would you put this many jump cuts in? The reason I only watched 5 minutes is I couldn't take it anymore. So we'll see what happens here.
Father, who's not really the man who he portrays himself to be, honestly. And he does things out of malicious circumstance. And when I ask him why do you act in a way that sort of everything else is beneath you? And it all goes back to Scientology. My parents were probably the biggest reason I left Scientology because of just their mental state, especially my mother. I remember the thing that set me off. My dad recently, within the past 2 years, bought this like massive farm in Virginia, dumped well over a few $1 million into it. Remember, we were driving back.
Man, that's a lot of money for a chiropractor.
It's like, it was like a long ass drive. So we were driving back from me just visiting it. It's a lot of him gloating, a lot of him being like, all my exploitation pays off, all my overcharging for those supplements. And
there you go.
Like
anybody, and I don't care if it's vegan, I don't care what one of these doctors, that Gregor dude, is that his name? I think that whatever, the 12 steps of Gregor or whatever. If they are selling supplements, run for the hills. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's McDougal. I don't care if it's Barnard. I don't care, whatever. If they are selling supplements, run.
Like taking the yearly test to be a chiropractor just so he can still.
They all go to the same temple, I guess. I mean, all same temple, all that supplement temple.
Hold the title. He's not a real doctor. So he has to do those sort of like rudimentary things that these people have to do.
And that's not a religious hate or anything. It's just they all have the same exact way of doing things. It's a marketing 101.
Just sort of like pretend to be legitimate. We were driving back and he was talking about how well he was doing at the org or with the church and how well he was doing on sales. And he was like, man, I'm just my reputation is absolutely bulletproof. I don't know what, something about that just like ricocheted through my entire childhood. Just like this egotistical man baby who spends 11 hours a day on YouTube was telling me how he had some like superior, this man didn't graduate from any medical college or like real, like he doesn't know like virology. He doesn't know any of these other things. These are a YouTube search away for him and where he gets his data.
This is all of these people. Look at that 12 steps of Gregor. That dude's never even worked on a person. Now Barnard and McDougal have, right? That Goldner has. But if you watch a lot, especially the ones who are pushing pills, they either don't work on patients anymore. They never did. Some of them, have like that Robert Morse. He's selling supplements. He printed out his own doctorate. He didn't even go to school. So it just.
Yeah, but
I'm not even familiar with his content beyond knowing that people consider him to be like the opinion leader in regards to the keto diet. Anyway, how does he where does most of his money come from? Is it selling supplements?
Yeah. So he followed.
There you go. I'm telling you, if somebody's making all their money off supplements, then I would really seriously look into that.
The money on that one. He got into keto when it started becoming like a big fad, and then he would just like put all of his chips into that basket when he saw the return.
I'm sure he was pushed into it.
Also, because it's like a very simple diet. It's like not hard. He was like, well, I'm just gonna make my own set of supplements, and I'll say that they're all specifically designed for keto. And that's what I was also instructed to say when I.
This is the same as when I go on these DoorDash things, right? It's crazy. Like you can have like a thing of tomato, like a tomato, just regular tomatoes in a can of like one of them little 1 pint things, right? And it's $2.99. And then next to it, it'll be like super keto tomatoes, and it's like $10.99. It's the same fucking tomatoes. But people just don't see it. They're marketed to. Or somebody's like, well, you really deserve this. You've been trying to lose weight for so long now. You deserve to lose that weight. Here, this supplement. It's going to help you. It's going to help you. It says keto supplement right on it, guaranteed to work.
I trained his
$99.99. Here you go. It's perfect. 10-day supply, $99.99. It's just for you. It's kind of like I'm not going to get into that one.
Current sales team. Oh, I don't know who's there now, but when I worked for him, he had keto consultants, and I was there. I was the QA. I was the director of QA, so quality assurance, and I was maintaining all these keto consultants, right? Using Scientology completely, because that's why I was hired. Or was I? He loves to talk about how incredible his profit.
Is that a rebounder behind him? I'm seeing this bar, and it reminds me of the Cellar Sizer. It probably isn't, right? But keto wouldn't allow that. But you never know.
Margins are because people trust him because he gives out so much free information. Like he makes YouTube videos.
It's just like, I don't know if anybody's watching this. If you did the bodybuilding life, Beverly International, famous for sending out their no nonsense magazine. What's in that magazine? Nothing but ads. Why did they send it for free? So you see the ads. It is just, this world is crazy. I mean, it is what it is.
And like pamphlets and says, oh, wow, it's all free from his perspective. This gives him the right to immensely with his products. And his data changes.
Bro, jump cuts.
He sometimes forgets that he's already covered a topic. So he'll research it and found out he's already made one. And despite all of his boasting, he has physically, he has aged like 10 years in the past single year.
That's somebody you want to follow, right? A diet that ages you 10 years in one.
And I am just so interested to know like what management told him or what his son being an SP has done to his sort of inner Scientology social life. Because he was the OTC chair deputy of the Americas, because my mom was the OTC chair. So she ran the OT committee, which is like, obviously for people, is like the group of whatever Scientologist has that much free time to work with other Scientologists to like set up events or community propaganda seminars or whatever.
Yeah. What do you think? Why does your dad do so well in this keto space? If he's not
somebody's pushing these videos,
particularly an expert, like he's known as an expert, but you're saying he really just researches on the fly. Why does he do so well in this space?
He breaks things down. He wants to basically dumb down the subject as much as possible to communicate to the lowest common denominator of person. He'll take something like cholesterol.
And they're the people who are going to buy everything. It's the people who don't have a lot of money are the biggest consumer of everything. It's crazy. That's why they don't have any money. You know, if you go to, because I got a lot of very well off people in my family. If you go over their house, they've got, most of the time, unless you're trying to like be, impress the Joneses or whatever, most of the time, if you go over somebody who is wealthy, they have the oldest shit that you imagine. They got a TV from like 1995. They got a computer from 2001. They got, whatever, it's crazy to me. People's, when I was doing eBay, everybody's like, oh, go to the rich neighborhoods. You'll make a ton. But you don't, because they buy stuff to last, and they've got actual lives that they go live. Like they're going to go Hawaii. They're going to go whatever to this vacation or something like that. They're not interested in what's on TV tonight. They're actually going and doing stuff. It's the people who don't make a lot of money who buy all this stuff. I think it's like 80% of consumption is like from the lower middle class. It's crazy. So this is who you got to sell to.
And be like, cholesterol, not what you think. Eggs, not bad. Eat eggs. I eat 5 eggs a day or whatever he says. It's like,
so he's not actually an expert in the subjects he's discussing, but he's good at taking information and explaining it in a way that's easy to understand.
Yeah. He relies mostly.
That's the best salesman in the world. That's the best salesman in the world. Again, another story not related to this at all, but I went to when I first got into life insurance sales, they kind of beat into your head like what everything is. Like this does this, does this does this. But I went out on a sales call with this guy that was the head of the office, or the head salesperson in the office, and I noticed something. He didn't mention the life insurance that he was selling at all. He talked about what it was doing for the other person. And that's what where I got it from. And this is what I started doing when I went into sales. But if you can make the other person, the mechanics of something don't matter. The result of the mechanics that you're selling is all that matters. And that is the best salesperson on the planet. Also, this person that goes in there knowing that the sales already happened. If you go in there and they're never going to buy from me and blah, 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 but that's it's not a sales.
On that, because he lacks a lot of good marketing skills. Anything that people keep coming back to, he just doubles down. He's had quizzes that he's used. He's actually still reusing old videos that he took years and years and years and years ago, and just recycling the same information. I think AGM does that for him. AGM does his marketing.
This is how you have to have a marketer. I feel like to get to the level that dude is at in this topic.
And that's like a whole other. I could talk about the company and my relationship with that company in a whole nother video. But
well, let me ask you this: you had mentioned that some of the people who've been watching your content, comment that they've decided they don't think you're being honest, or they don't believe what you're saying.
Oh,
it's easier to tell to fool someone than for them to realize they've been fooled.
What is it that you've said about your dad that people are calling into question?
It ranges. It ranges from, people being like, oh, I don't believe that he gives his money to Scientology. Like, how could someone who's so nice on YouTube do anything for a malicious nature? And my favorite part is that he does that thing that many Scientology influencers do, and it's pretend to be Christian, not in a public avowed way, but if you look at his comments, God bless you, Christ is with
Yep. But always the people that I stay clear of.
You are sent from the heavens. I actually have an email saved where he sent me, he was bragging because he had a comment that said, he sent me a comment that said, oh, it doesn't get any better compliment than this. And someone literally saying that she worships him like a god.
What has happened to humanity?
By word.
So he actually responds to people in a way to make them think he's a Christian.
That's one of the, because he knows it's like
that's the hallmark.
A lot of susceptible people. He doesn't believe in God at all. He once told me that he was one of the beings who designed bodies when they were made. He was there.
Wow. There's this company that we get electricity from here. They're out of Akron. It's called the Illuminating Company. And that's where I get my electric from.
Putting the pieces together, and he was like, it's all got to make sense. And I'm like, I guess I just didn't know enough about the body at the time.
I stay away from them. Oof.
Like anatomy.
This is getting real.
To ask a simple follow-up question, but like, this is what he believes. He thinks that he was sent from some, like he built them so he can fix them, but then doesn't follow the rules of medical science.
Man, I want to wash my hands of this one. If you don't know what I just said about my electric company, you're probably better off.
It's an interesting philosophy.
So that's why he's such an expert, because billions of years ago, he was the one that helped design the structure and the
wash my hands of that
endocrine systems and the,
all right, you know what?
Hormone interactions. That's why.
Nope. Yeah, I'm done. So, wow. There's so much I want to say, but I can't say it. If people actually were on my Patreon and actually followed that, I could talk about this more, but you don't. So that's going to be it. Any comments, questions, whatever down below. Certain comments I might not be able to respond to, but yeah, that's some heavy shit right there. Anyway, this has been fun, I guess. Like, subscribe, share the video. Keto's not good for you, and neither is the supplements that this dude is selling. And I'll talk to you next time.